Hi everyone, welcome back. Ajke we're going to talk about this. Since my last video, I have changed a few more parts on this bike. So ওগুলো নিয়ে একটু কথা বলবো, and I have another news for you guys. আমার একটা বাইক আসতেছে end of January, so 2 মাস পরে. So I'm going to tell you what it is. But অনেকদিন বাইকটা পড়েছিল, so বাতাস নাই. I'm going to quickly give it some air and then বাকিটা আমরা যেতেই কথা বলি. 22 আছে, so yeah, অনেকগুলো বাইক থাকার কারণে so I hardly get the time to ride them. So আজকে we're going to take this out and I'm going to walk you through the changes that I've done. Like পিছে কত আছে? পিছে 34 আছে. So let's bring that up to 36. So আমি একটু 37 দিয়ে রাখি কারণ খোলার সময় একটু বাতাস বের হয়ে যায়. Anyway, so that's done. এখন I just want to quickly take you guys out for a ride and tell you what it's like to ride this bike since I've done all the mods. Alright guys, অনেকদিন পর এটা নিয়ে আবার বের হইলাম. Since my last video আমি আরও অনেক কিছু চেঞ্জ করছি এই বাইকটাতে. তো আমি যদি একটু কুইকলি দেখা দিই, আমার ককপিট ভিউটা, স্টিয়ারিং ড্যাম্পারটা ইনস্টল করছি. ইনস্টল করাটা ওয়াজ কোয়াইট আ নাইটমেয়ার. সো দ্য রিজন বিং ইজ এই যে স্টেমটা আছে that connects the steering damper to the chassis, এই স্টেমটা পাওয়া যায় না. So I had to wait for like 2 or 3 months to install this. Yeah, so this was installed. I changed the front mirrors. So I got these these aero mirrors. Absolutely useless in terms of usability, and this is actually worse than the stock mirrors. এই মিররগুলো দিয়ে কিছুই দেখা যায় না. You can like vaguely see the sides. I will not recommend these mirrors if you're going for a long ride or on a highway ride. Not very advisable to use this mirror, and especially if you're somebody new to riding motorcycles, definitely stay away from these mirrors. I understand that these mirrors, they make a lot of a difference visually, how the bike looks, but from a practical point of view, from a safety point of view, not advisable to get these mirrors. What this bike feels like to ride, I think that's the big question. আমি এক কথায় যদি বলি, it has made a tremendous improvement on how the bike handles and rides, especially because of these suspension upgrades that I did. So these high speeds there, like anywhere between 80 to 130, 120, this bike now feels very, very stable because of these suspension upgrade that I've done. So anybody who's looking to upgrade their bike, I would definitely recommend করবো that if you have only one investment that you need to make, একটাই যদি investment করতে হয় আপনাদের, and you need to make on this bike or any other bikes, I would definitely recommend that you swap out the suspension and get some Öhlins. আমার দোনোটা সামনে front cartridges আছে. Oh man, কি traffic সামনে. আমার front cartridges আছে, and পিছনে I've got the Öhlins shock absorber, the full shocks, and it was one of the best investments that I made for this bike. At high speeds, it's really forgiving. On a stock bike, stock যে suspensionটা থাকে, plus আমার মাঝখানে I had another aftermarket rear suspension, and it makes a hell of a difference, akash patal difference, and it gives you a lot of confidence. যায় না কেন ডান দিকে? Silly car. Yeah, so it gives me a lot of confidence. তাছাড়াও ছোটখাটো আরও অনেক কিছু চেঞ্জ হয়েছে, but I don't think those have too much impact on how the bike handles. And yeah, so it's a very, very pleasant ride. আমার কাছে, of all the bikes that I have, they have their different characters. I just wanted to have a bike that I can use daily, a a modern bike that I can use daily, and Dhakate I don't think that নতুন বাইকগুলোর ভিতরে I don't think there is another bike which is as sexy as this. So I think ওইটাই আমার deciding factor ছিল. So I decided to get this because of that reason. So আমি এখন quickly going to take a U-turn. That's a beautiful color on the Range Rover. Off. Weatherটা চেঞ্জ হইতেছে, আমারও ঠান্ডা লাগছে মনে হয়। Oh my god, এত ট্রাফিক কেন, এত বাস কেন? Anyways, I need to get out of here. সামনে কোনো টার্ন আছে। Royal Enfield এর showroom. All of you probably know by now that Bangladesh Enfield is selling 4 variants of the 350 J series engine that they produce. It's the Meteor, the Hunter, the Classic and the Bullet. So I went ahead and I put a deposit down for the Bullet 350. Our deciding factor ta ektai chilo between, so it was a toss up between the Classic and the Bullet. Both the bikes are identical in terms of the engine and the chassis and the tank, at least the front part of it. Rear tech to different ase, but one of the major deciding factor for me was that the Bullet is a bike that put Enfield on the map, and from that perspective it made all the sense to buy the Bullet as opposed to the Classic 350. And if I ever wanted to make the Bullet look like a Classic 350, all I have to do, oh shit, I need to go left. All I have to do is just change the rear fender on the seats. And I think, yeah, so that's what I plan to do. Oh, Techcar traffic signal. Ekbar paise gele ekhane 15 minutes of your life is gone. Anyways, so coming back to the Enfield, I do have to say just some cautionary suggestion and feedback, whatever you want to call it, from my side. I have a feeling that that engine, the J series engine that's in the Enfield, is going to get really, really hot. Dhaka jara jara kintu se, I personally have been riding like air-cooled engines for a long time now. And the biggest problem that I face with these engines, these air-cooled engines, is a shop situation, a traffic situation. If the engine is running, it will just overheat and the bike will stall. Especially with my 750s. So 750 gula, I really can't take it out in the heat. Basantio, initially when I first rebuilt her, she used to suffer from the same situations. So আমি যেটা করছি, as soon as I rebuilt my XL, I took it out for a long ride. So I would definitely recommend that whoever is going to be buying these bikes, and if you ever get to see this video, I would suggest that as soon as you get the bike, get the engine free, because the air-cooled engine on those Enfields or any air-cooled bikes, like high displacement bikes, they tend to generate a lot of heat. So your frictions and all those components rubbing, the heat cooler generate high, plus the explosion of the engine as well. You need to minimize the amount of heat it generates. So with frictionের কারণে, like everything needs to be well lubricated and well oiled. So I have a feeling a lot of people are going to get really, really disappointed riding the Enfields if তাদের expectationটা থাকে that they're going to be dailying that bike. So dailying Enfield is going to be quite challenging. Does it mean that you shouldn't buy the bike? Absolutely not. Bikes like the Enfield Classic and the Bullet, they're very iconic. The joy of riding that bike is probably unparalleled to nothing else. So I would definitely recommend that it should not be your only bike. If you use a bike to commute Dhakate, for joyriding and long rides, I assume it's going to be okay. But Dhaka day-to-day usage, I don't think that's going to be the right appropriate bike for you. Anyways, so enough about the Enfield. যখন আসে তখন তখন দেখা যাবে whether it can withstand Dhaka's traffic. But today the vlog is about this. What an idiot. So I could just quickly dekhai all the changes that I've done since my last video. I have swapped out the mirrors. I've gone with these winglets, these aero mirrors. Dekhte judio it looks fantastic, it is absolutely useless when it comes to terms with functionality. So it really doesn't work. Stock mirrors of the R15 was pretty bad. Ordhekta bodytei chole jeto. This is even worse, so I definitely don't recommend that you use these mirrors on a long ride. Please swap them out, get some regular mirrors if you want to go on a highway. I definitely won't be using them. Amar jodio highway te jaowa hoy na ei bike ta niye, but tarporo ei mirror gulo niye I won't be going anywhere on a highway. One of the other major changes that I've done, like I was saying, so I went with these Öhlins steering damper. Very expensive and it was a nightmare to fix. Ei je stem ta paowa jay to this clamp or this mount, whatever you want to call it. So this mount is not available anywhere. So it comes in two variations. So amarta, I don't know if I can show you on the video clearly, but you see this. There is one variant that goes up to here, so it will not fit onto this bikes, and Dhaka actually oitai paowa jay. So I had to wait for like 2 or 3 months. I had to get like 2 or 3 of these clamps, and then finally found this one that fits. So from an aesthetical point of view, it looks fantastic. 150cc bike, I don't know tank slap kotokani hobe, it doesn't have enough power on its safety equipment. Jodi if I run into that situation, I don't know if it's going to help me or not. One of the major changes that I did was these Brembo calipers. So both in the front, I have the P32s in the front and the P4s at the back. So one of the major challenges, hello, you're back. So one of the major challenges jeta ami face korchi is with this. So this caliper mount jeta ei front forks er sathe caliper ta mount kore, এইটা ঢাকাতে পাওয়া যায় না। সো বাংলাদেশে যতগুলো আফটার মার্কেট এই রোটার্সগুলো পাওয়া যায়, they're all 320 mm, and Thailand and Malaysiaতে they usually have 330 and 300 mm. So এই ক্যালিপার মাউন্টটা is this nowhere available. এই ক্যালিপার এই রোটারের সাথে যে মাউন্টটা আসে, this mount is usually meant for the stock calipers, and it's not meant for the Brembos, because these two bolt points are different for the standard and the Brembos. So I had to order this from a website called the WeBike. আমি পেজের লিঙ্কটা দিয়ে দিব। আমার প্রায় 6,500 না 7,000 টাকা লাগছে to have this shipped by EMS বাংলাদেশে. So that's that. I did notice that আগে আমি যখন ব্রেক করতাম, আমার ব্রেকটা সামনে it used to just grip. On this one, it doesn't grip ওইরকম ভাবে. It gives me a smoother braking experience. Pichertao is changed to Brembo. So there are 2 types of cables that you can get. There is a longer cable that goes around here. Usually stock je caliperta thake, it fits over here. I had to mount it here because okhane mount korar je ব্র্যাকেটটা পাওয়া যায়, এটা বাংলাদেশে পাওয়া যায় না। So I installed this এখানে, and I went for a smaller cable which I route through the swing arm, and it comes in here, gives it a bit more tidier finish. Another thing that I changed is the rear brake master cylinder. So this I changed to Brembo, because when I got these calipers, আমার যে stock ইয়েটা ছিল, the brake master cylinder ছিল, it couldn't drive these calipers. So you definitely have to change this if you want to get these calipers. You definitely have to change the rear master cylinder fit করতে যে আরেকটা প্রবলেম যেটা ফেস করছি আমি, যে since I have these aftermarket rear sets, you see that pipe, এখানে একটা পাইপ আছে, sorry, not a pipe, a bar, a push rod that connects to your braking pedal. And that push rod, since this is a stock thing, it was meant to be mounted on the stock rear set, a push rod didn't extend far enough, so I had to make that push rod locally, সো আমার ওই জিনিসটাও আনতে হবে। পুশরটা বানানোর পরে যেটা করতে হয়েছে, that if you do make this pusher for this bike, make sure that it is very well machined out and lathe ভালো করে মেশিন করা হয়, নাহলে it's going to get stuck. So that's that. I bought the rear tail tidy. So this is a full carbon fiber rear license plated light and tail tidy. I got that in from Indonesia. And yeah, it's a really nice bike. Dhaka Juna, actually it's a perfect bike. So hope you guys like it. Do let me know. Oh, another thing, so I bought this. It's a 1969 Toyota Corona. So এটা নিয়েও maybe একটা video আসবে. It's going to get restored soon. I have another car which is coming in hopefully this week, so I'll definitely have some more videos on those cars and some content about these two cars in my life, so keep a lookout for them. So আপাতত আজকে এখান পর্যন্তই. Take care guys, and I will see you guys in my next video.